We're joined today by Zoe Smith, aka Britain's strongest schoolgirl. So Zoe, what first attracted you to weightlifting?
It wasn't a choice as such, it was more coincidence. I just fell into the sport. I was a gymnast upstairs because this is like a multi-sport centre. And they just asked me if I fancied to go on weightlifting because they needed to fill up a team for the London Youth Games for the Borough of Greenwich. So I volunteered to have a go, and turns out I was okay.
And what did your parents think?
At first they were a bit kind of miffed that I wasn't doing gymnastics because that's what they were paying for, and they were paying quite a lot of money for it obviously. So they were a bit like, why are you doing weightlifting when our money's being spent on gymnastics basically?
So how is your training actually structured?
I train about 5 times a week unless I'm in my house recovering or working, as I have been recently.
And do you train every day after schools?
Mostly I train 4 times after school like a week and once at the weekend, so it's not a huge amount but it's still quite a lot to keep on top of.
So can you still do all the teenage stuff like going out, shopping, partying all night?
Oh yeah, I definitely do those. It's just kind of like on a tighter schedule than it would be for people that didn't have outside commitments.
And what do your friends think about this?
At first they were a bit taken aback to think I was doing such a weird sport such as weightlifting, because you usually associate that with like big muscle-bound men, which they probably assumed I was going to turn into.
Well, are most people surprised when they first meet you? Because I was expecting completely not petite, beautiful 16-year-old.
Oh, it's quite nice to think of like that I'm sort of a shock factor actually. I wasn't want to kind of conform to what people would imagine a weightlifter to look like. So.
And do any of your male friends ever challenge you to an arm wrestle?
Yes, I have. During like my frees and stuff, have been known to arm wrestle some of like the other 6'4" boys.
And did you beat them?
Once, yes.
Good. So we're going to talk a bit about weightlifting because not many people know about the lifts. I mean, I've heard of snatch and clean and jerk. So if you could just take us through a couple of them and talk us through it, that'd be great.
The first lift in every competition is the snatch, which we start out here because the weights would usually support the bar about here. With a wide grip, we take the bar and in one movement jump under the bar and then come up to hold it completely still above our heads. And the clean and jerk starts also from the floor with a more narrow grip this time, about shoulder width. It's 2 movements. The first is to hit. You just jump under the bar into a squat. You stand up, readjust your grip, etc. Set yourself and jerk the bar above your head.
Excellent. And which is your favourite lift?
It depends what I'm doing better in. At the moment it's probably clean and jerk.
So since Delhi your life must have really changed because you've been splashed all over the TV and newspapers. In what ways has it changed?
Well, I've had a lot more like media attention for one thing. But more people like knowing my name in the streets. Felt a little bit like a celebrity.
And are you enjoying that?
Yeah, it's just strange really. I do enjoy it though. It's been a laugh. I've been nominated for I've made the top 3 for Young Sports Personality of the Year, which was an absolute shock and absolute honour.
And did you meet any of your heroes or heroines that night?
I met so many people. I was really, because I was a few seats away from Jessica Innes, and I think she's absolutely amazing. So yeah, it was funny actually. I was walking to my seat and the usher was like, "Oh, your seat's there, Jess," and I was like, "Oh, I'm not Jess."
You do look like her.
Which is actually rather flattering.
Has anyone ever said that before? You look like her.
So many people.
Yeah, and Kelly Holmes.
Yeah, everyone is going to start to think I'm sort of like the child of Kelly Holmes and Jess Innes.
Jessica Innes.
Yeah.
So that was just been a brilliant time for you. I mean, what an experience. And then a few days later, you had a complete shock with your funding being temporarily suspended.
Yeah, well, it wasn't what I'd expected. I still don't quite understand what I've done wrong, but
well, you've had a great 2010, you know, Delhi, and then nominated for Young Sports Personality.
Yeah, well, I would have thought my funding would have been quite safe, having made weightlifting history earlier in the year, but apparently the governing body don't see it that way, so...
But it's only temporarily suspended.
It's temporarily suspended, but I'm doing all I can to try and get that back.
So what are your goals for 2011?
I want to make 2011 as good as 2010 was really. Obviously there'll be no Commonwealth Games, so no Commonwealth medal to be earned, but this year should mark my first World Championships, my first European Championships at senior level. So it's going to be quite a big year for me, and I've also got the Olympic test event.
That's great. And we've got Olympics just around the corner in 2012, of course.
Yeah, oh my God, can you believe that the Olympics next year? It still feels like, because I remember I was about 11 when we won the bid, so the Olympics has always been like in the future for me.
And how ready are you for it?
I'm not ready yet, I'm not going to lie, but hopefully 2011 should be the build-up that I'm hoping for, and I'll be all ready by the end of the year.
So diet-wise, because I know when you went to Delhi you had to lose 6 kilos, was it, in a week?
Yeah.
Or 3 kilos, yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I can't remember now, it was a lot.
So how do you do it in a week? Give us some diet tips.
Jesus. Well, most of it was water, so I literally had to just stop drinking really. I was literally having less than a glass of water a day, which is so unhealthy. I would not advise that for anyone ever, unless you're like a wrestler or a boxer or a weightlifter or something trying to make weight. And I just literally didn't eat for about a week. So it was a strange start to the competition, but
So it was your first senior competition, you came on with bronze, and the first female weightlifting medal for Britain.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
Well, it was quite an honour to win England's first Commonwealth medal, female. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I still can't put into words quite what it means to me, but it's just my greatest achievement today that hopefully I'll be making more soon.
And what's your favourite thing about weightlifting?
I just like the competitive element of it all. It's quite an explosive sport, which suits me a lot, because when I was a gymnast I was very good at tumbling and stuff that involved pure leg strength, etc. I wasn't very graceful. So it seems like this is a sport for me, just a lot of explosive power and not very much sort of anything else.
And how would you encourage other young girls trying to get into the sport?
I would just say, you just got to bite the bullet and work up the nerves to come into the gym. It's very it's nerve-wracking at first. Everyone's a big man lifting sort of stupid weights that you wouldn't really ever expect to lift. But at the end of the day, I think they kind of respect that you had the nerve to actually walk into the gym. So yeah, you've earned the right to be there. Just
Excellent. Well, thank you, Zoe, for your time. Good luck for 2011 and, of course, London 2012.
Thank you.